Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today in our college visit series. And today we are very excited to have University of Kentucky with us. And Erica Shipley is going to be sharing lots of wonderful information with you about their school and programs. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Erica. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Hi, you guys. My name is Erica Shipley. I am an admissions counselor at the University of Kentucky. I work with all of our Virginia students, which means I work with you guys. So lucky. Today, I'm going to talk about a couple different things. First of all, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what my role specifically is in your college search process. I think a lot of times you guys get a lot of emails from like admissions counselors, your admissions officer, random people from different colleges, and you're like, who are these people? So I'm just going to kind of explain what our role is for you guys. We really are just here to support you. Obviously, you guys have wonderful support at your high school, but we are also just an additional resource for specific schools that you're looking at. And then we'll talk a little bit about UK. Sorry, there's like a little bug in here. Then we'll talk a little bit about UK. So just kind of surface level things. What I really like to try and do is talk to you guys about things that you might not see on our website, right? Like fun things, things off campus, downtown Lexington, some good stuff like that. And then we will talk about the application process. We are still moving towards our early action deadline, which is December 1st, so I'll talk through that. And then leave some time to address any questions. So just a little bit about me real quick. I am a UK grad, so I get really enthusiastic about certain things. But I'm also from Northern Virginia. So I know that's about 2, maybe 3 hours from some of you guys, but I grew up in the same state as you guys. So I know, I know this process pretty similarly to what you guys are going through. And we're so lucky, like being in this area where we have so many schools visiting, but it can also be really overwhelming. And I remember that process as well. So kind of cool. Like you guys are definitely my favorite group of students to work with, being from Virginia myself. Like I said, I work with all of our students in Virginia. I also work with DC and Maryland, and I have worked in our admissions office for over 3 years. So have a lot of hopefully good experience, although, all the things are changing and we're just trying to keep up, And really what my role is, and what any admissions counselor's role is, whether you're looking at UK or any other school, is we're really just here to support you through your application process. Every school is different, as you guys have maybe started to learn. And so it's really nice to sometimes have sort of a person, if you will, to talk to at the schools you're looking at. And so that's me for UK, and you have that at other schools too. So if you're getting emails from us or phone calls or anything like that, we really are just here to support you. And we want to make sure that you're making a good decision and that you know all of the information you need about our school. So whether that's about scholarships or financial aid or housing, or do we have all of your materials? Does your family have questions? I mean, that's really what our job is. So always feel free to reach out, respond to those emails, and I will put my contact information up at the end as well, just so that you guys have that. So just some fast facts about the University of Kentucky, jumping right in. So we are located in Lexington, Kentucky. We are a large campus, a large student body, over 30,000 students on our campus. And typically our incoming freshman class is somewhere between 5,000 and 5,500 students each year. Our mascot is the Wildcats. We have a lot of school spirit, a lot of really wonderful tradition at UK, which I can't wait to tell you guys a little bit more about. And we have over 200 majors and minors at the university that we comprise into one of our 17 different academic colleges. So that can include things like the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business, the College of Fine Arts, stuff like that. Because we have a lot of majors and a lot of programs, oftentimes students have this misconception about big schools, like, I won't get very much individualized attention, or my classes will be huge, stuff like that. And that is actually something that I want to try and debunk today. So we really do try to keep our class sizes relatively small. And the big thing I want you guys to know is that while we do have a lot of majors and a lot of programs, there are so many resources on our campus to help you feel like you're on track academically. So over 20 learning and tutoring centers for you guys to take advantage of from the start of your freshman year. So if you're taking an intro to college algebra class, we have opportunities for that. If you're taking a very senior level engineering class, we have advising for that too. So, we always want you guys to know that we have those resources to make our big campus feel small, and so that you guys have the resources to do well on our campus. You guys can see some more just quick facts up there about our class sizes and things like that. So we do try to keep them relatively small, like I said. And one other thing I really like to mention on this slide is education abroad. Sometimes you guys hear that as study abroad. Either or, it's a really wonderful opportunity for you to spend either a couple of weeks or a semester or a full year in another country, getting credits towards your degree. And we always encourage students to take advantage of study abroad. I studied abroad in London, England. It was amazing. I did it through my major. I ended up getting lots of college credit for it. And it's so rare in your life where you can just get up and move to another country. So definitely something that we encourage students to do as well. I mentioned that we have a lot of school spirit. We affectionately call our fan base the Big Blue Nation, and we love it. And actually, fun fact for you guys that I just learned this morning, we have a new women's basketball recruit from Richmond, Virginia. So we got to cheer her on. Her name's Jada. I can't remember her last name, but I just saw that this morning. So all the way in Richmond, people are coming over to us too. So pretty exciting. But we do get really enthusiastic about the Wildcats. And I think what's really cool about our campus is that, you know, you will really feel this pride and this tradition and this loyalty and community all across campus, regardless of athletics. So obviously that's kind of a fun added bonus, but you know, whether you're at a concert or a play or a community service event, you know, students will show up and there will be pride and tradition. And I think that's just something that I loved about my time at UK, and it's something that students really feel like they experience. That's often a lot of the feedback that we get. So really cool, lots of great ways for you to cheer on the Wildcats and show your school spirit. Everyone's always wearing blue, and it's just a really good time. So some fun stuff up there. Probably the biggest question I also get is, what is Lexington like? People also have this misconception about Kentucky that it's in the middle of nowhere and it's very rural, and is there even Wi-Fi on your campus? I swear people ask us that. And that is so not the case. Lexington is a lovely city, very, very fun, lots of wonderful things to do. I grew up in the suburbs of DC, so that was definitely something I was worried about as well. I was like, oh gosh, what is Lexington even like? And it really surprised me so much. I have just a couple photos up there to give you guys an idea of what it's like, but there's music, there's hiking, there's great places to eat. We are the horse capital of the world, which will definitely become a part of your experience, whether you're an equine person or not. And what's really nice about Lexington too, is that we're definitely a great place for you to be a young professional. So we oftentimes have students stay in Lexington over the summer to get an internship or a part-time job. And much to my, surprise, I actually ended up staying in Lexington after I graduated, which a lot of people end up doing just because there really is so much opportunity, and the university does a really good job of kind of building those partnerships so that you guys have the opportunity to stay and get some experience outside of the classroom. Specific to Virginia, I wanted to give you guys some kind of cool numbers just so that you guys know really how many students come to UK from the state of Virginia as a whole. So you guys can see over 300 students, and 34% of our student body are out-of-state students, which is great. Typically the drive from Richmond to Lexington is only about probably 6 to 7 hours, kind of depending on where you are. And that is definitely a huge draw for students. It's really nice to know that you can have kind of this out-of-state unique experience, but you're still only a day's drive away from home. So if you wanted to come home for the weekend or for the holidays or whatever, it is a very easy drive back and forth. And we're also very accessible by plane as well. So, we're lucky in this area that there are airports all over Virginia, which is great. And what's really nice is there are also airports all over Kentucky. So we have our own airport in Lexington, and then we're only about an hour's drive from the Louisville airport and the Northern Kentucky airport. So there are a lot of options to kind of come back and forth as you want. So very accessible place for sure. One of the things we also love to talk about is the way our campus has completely transformed over the past 5 to 10 years. So we have pretty much renovated every building on our campus, from our residence halls to our academic buildings. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys, if any of you have not done a campus tour yet or done anything virtually. So this is our new Jacobs Academic Science Building. Any of you that are in any of our science-based majors like biology, chemistry, physics, you have something that involves a lab. This is definitely where you will be, and it is a beautiful area of campus. Any of my business students, I always have a ton of those. This is where you will be hanging out, your Gatton College of Business and Economics. It is also a gorgeous brand new building on our campus. There's tons of classrooms in there, lots of good places for you to hang out, which is nice. And this is the 90s. So this is kind of our sort of social area of campus. So it's a good place to hang out in between classes. One of our dining halls is in here. There's a new Starbucks in here. Or no, I'm sorry, not a Starbucks. That's across the street. There's a new Chick-fil-A in here. That's what I forgot. So you will eat well for sure when you're on our campus. And then this is probably the building we love to talk about the most. This is our brand new student center. This was a long time coming, and we are thrilled that's finally complete. This is where the visitor center is. This is where our bookstore is, another dining hall, lots of restaurants. It's a really cool building. Obviously, this photo is a little bit dated because nowadays all of our folks are in masks and social distancing, but I did want you guys to see what the inside of our student center looks like. So you can see lots of places to hang. It always looks like this. And there's like, you know, student organizations tabling and, you know, events going on and stuff. So it's really fun, always bustling. And then one thing I also wanted to mention is our medical campus. So UK is a great place to come if you have any interest in healthcare. We are a Research 1 institution. So research is huge at UK, which really does just give you an opportunity to get additional experience outside of the classroom, which students love. And it's just a good way also to learn, right? You're learning things in your books. Now, why don't we take it to a tangible experience, you know? So the other reason I like to bring up this slide is because not only do we have Kentucky's #1 hospital right on our campus, but it kind of shows that for the size of our student body, over 30,000 students, remember that, our campus is actually quite small. So to get from one side of campus to another, including the medical campus, is usually only about a 20-minute walk, which is really nice. So students are often really surprised by how compact our campus is. And that includes the medical campus too. So if you're doing research or you need to go for, you know, a volunteer position you have, anything like that, it is really nice to know that this is right around the corner. So now that we've talked about some fun stuff, I'm going to kind of jump into some information about the admissions process. Whether you're a junior or a senior, I think it's just important to know sort of where we're at. Obviously, this information sort of changes year to year, especially with everything going on right now. So definitely make sure that you're reading newsletters, reading emails, things like that to stay up to date. So our application is live and our early action deadline is coming up. It's December 1st. We have a bunch of different ways you can apply to UK. We have our own application. You can also apply through the Common App or through the Coalition application. We are test optional, so that is, I'm really encouraging students to just keep, you know, take it for what it is. You do not need to submit a test score to be considered for admissions or for scholarships. So we will still consider you for scholarship opportunities, even if you don't submit a test score. We are not rolling admissions, so students that apply by our early action deadline should hear back from us by January 15th. So definitely make sure you read that at the bottom. As far as kind of what we're looking for in a student, so we also don't have a minimum test score and we don't have a minimum GPA for admission. And I would say that academically, our students really run the gamut. So you can see our middle 50% ranges down there for test scores and GPA and our unweighted GPA average as well, just to give you an idea of the types of students that we have coming into UK. But we really do look for a well-rounded student, to be completely honest. We really want students that are obviously, you know, excelling academically, but almost equally as important, we want students that are doing things outside the classroom and, you know, just showing us who they are beyond their grades and their GPA. Now, the other thing I'll mention about this slide, especially if you're a junior, I know that, you know, when you get into the spring of your junior year, that's when you really start to think about these things, is to just give yourself some grace. Like, we know that this year has been strange and you might not have had the opportunity to get involved as much as you wanted to, and that's okay. We totally understand, and we would never penalize you for something that's out of your control. So just make sure you keep that in mind if you're feeling like you didn't get as involved as you wanted to, and your application as far as extracurriculars looks a little bit smaller than you were hoping. I mean, that's okay. Like, you know, you got to just do the best you can in these times, you know. One thing I like to mention as well, so I mentioned that we have a lot of academic programs. This tool is called our Academic Exploration Tool. It's basically like a Google search tool for all of the different opportunities that we have, and you can search for them based on just things you like to do. So if you like science or if you like music, but you're not really sure what major would make the most sense for you, you can use this tool to just kind of type in those different things and all of the majors will pop up. And I think it's just a really helpful tool. So definitely make sure you check it out just to learn about like what different programs are too. That can be really helpful just in your search process in general. Obviously, UK is an out-of-state school, so I really like for you guys to know about the finances that go along with that, just so that you and your family can make a good decision for yourselves financially. So on the right-hand side, you will see our out-of-state tuition as well as room and board for the year. One thing I like to mention about that room and board number is that it is just an average. So it's the average cost of living and eating on campus. We have lots of different residence hall room styles, lots of meal plans, but that is just an average to give you an idea of what it could look like. Tuition numbers change for us every year as well. They don't skyrocket by any means, but they do look a little bit different each year. So just keep that in mind, that this might look a little different once you're coming to UK. Now, on the topic of just kind of making those numbers smaller, we have a really robust scholarship package for out-of-state students. So you guys can see if you're applying with a test score, you'll see that traditional criteria column. And then if you're applying without a test score, you'll see that test optional criteria column. So just keep that in mind too. Obviously, the GPA is skewed a little bit if we don't have a test score from you. So just good things to keep in mind. And then we do have some pretty good competitive scholarships, as well as scholarships for National Merit Finalists and College Board National Recognition Program scholars. So lots of good information up here. I won't talk about it for too long, but feel free to pause the recording or take a picture or anything. And all of this is on our website as well. In addition to all of those scholarships, we have some other really great scholarships too. The William C. Parker Diversity Scholarship Program is a scholarship program genuinely for students that are passionate about the diversity initiatives at UK. You can apply for this scholarship program regardless of your race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, religious affiliation, anything like that. So if that's something that you're passionate about and something that you'd be interested in learning more about, definitely check out that website, and you will see the additional essay box on our application. So there's no separate application that you have to fill out. And then of course we have college and departmental awards for specific majors and things like that. That is something that you kind of have to explore on your own. So you can always shoot me an email if you're curious about other scholarship opportunities. And then of course we offer legacy tuition for students whose parents or step parents are graduates of UK. And then of course we want you guys to know about the FAFSA as well. Of course, I'm sure you talk about this plenty. You guys have great resources and things like that, but just wanted to remind you that you should fill out the FAFSA always, always, always. It is the best way to be considered for any need-based scholarships, work-study opportunities, any loans, grants, things like that. And that went live October 1st, and typically that's when it will go live. So good things to keep in mind there. And then obviously when we talk about, cost and finances and tuition and things like that, I always want you guys to know about your, not to use a stuffy term, but your return on investment. So you're obviously paying a lot of money to go to college, and we want you guys to know that you'll be really, really prepared when you graduate from UK, and your degree will take you very far. So we're always giving you guys opportunities to explore different careers and internships and graduate programs. So I just like to kind of throw these numbers up there so that you guys know a little bit more about the opportunities that we provide. And finally, we want you guys to come and visit us. So I wanted to kind of talk through what our different visit options are right now, because obviously that kind of varies from school to school. So I just wanted to make sure you guys felt comfortable with those options. So we are doing in-person tours right now. They are smaller, and you do have to register, so there's no drop-in option by any means. But we are offering those Monday through Friday, and we actually just started offering some Saturday tours for seniors as well. So if you're interested in registering for those, our visitor center website is a great place to start. It's just visit.uky.edu. And that is where you can kind of create a schedule for yourself. And then we also offer a ton of virtual options as well. So if you're just curious about a specific academic college, or, you have questions about the honors program, really anything like that, we have tons of options for you to sign up for those. We just finished our last Big Blue open house last night, but we do have other events rolling out into the spring. So just make sure that, again, you're watching your email and checking out our visitor center website for that. And this is my contact information, so wanted you guys to make sure you had that. So you can see my email on there, my direct phone number, and then the link will take you straight to my calendar. So if you're ever interested in setting up a Zoom meeting or anything like that, again, I'm always happy to set those up with you guys, with you and your family, just to make sure that you have all of the information that you need. So feel free to take a screenshot or do whatever you need, but would love to connect with you all. So always feel free to let me know if you need anything. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen here so that we're back in 3 squares. But that's all I have. So
thank you so much for joining us today. I really love the academic exploration tool. That's really cool. So I'll definitely be referring students to that. That's amazing. And you said
Yeah.
so scholarships, students have to have applications in by December 1st to be considered for any merit scholarships. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. You need to have a complete application by December 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys have a great
Thank you.
Yes, no problem.